Hello and welcome to this video on how to do a one-way ANOVA using JMP. To do a one-way ANOVA using JMP, you need to have your data in the following format. You need to have the response variable, in this case it would be the flow value, in one column, and labels for the different treatments associated with each of these response variables in another column. Quite often you need to take a different format and put it into this format, so here's how you do that. We'll open up a data file. So here we have a data file where each column represents the results for a given treatment. For this particular data, I'm looking at the number of defects for each of 3 shifts in a manufacturing plant. And I need to get this data into a 2-column format where one column has the treatment, either day shift, swing shift, or graveyard shift, and the other column has the data values, these guys down here. I do that by going to the Tables menu, Stack, selecting the columns that I want to stack, in this case day shift, swing shift, and graveyard shift, hitting Stack Columns. I need to give the new table a name, so I'll call this Problem 3 Stacked. The data column is going to be defects, and the label column will be treatments. So you can see I now have the data in the format I need. I have a column with treatments and a column with the data. To do the one-way ANOVA, I go to Analyze, Fit Y by X. We want defects as our response variable, treatments as our X variable, and we hit OK. And it gives us this graph which plots the defects points for each treatment. To do the ANOVA, I go to the red triangle, click on Means ANOVA. It adds confidence intervals for each of my treatments, and if I go down here, it shows me the ANOVA table, where it shows the degrees of freedom for the treatments, the degrees of freedom for the error, the total degrees of freedom, out here the p-value for my f-test. Because this p-value is fairly large, I will not reject H0. For a one-way ANOVA, H0, the null hypothesis, is that the means of all the treatments are the same. So this data set does not give me enough evidence to reject this null hypothesis. Now when I do an ANOVA, I should also check to make sure the model assumptions are reasonably well satisfied. One of the model assumptions for ANOVA is that the values are normally distributed around their means. I can test this as follows. Click on the red triangle, go down to Save, and tell it to save residuals. If I now go back to my data table, it gives me a new column, which in this case is defects centered by. This is the residuals. To determine if these residuals are normal, and thus the assumptions underlying the ANOVA are accurate, I go to Analyze Distribution, tell it I want to analyze the residuals that I just computed, hit OK, and tell it that I want a normal quantile plot. And you can see from this plot that the residuals are more or less on a straight line. These two up here are a little worrisome, but they generally fit a pretty good straight line fit on my normal quantile plot, which tells me that the assumptions underlying my analysis are probably okay. So this is how you do an ANOVA using JMP. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching.